So it's $1,000 total.
Oh my God, man! What
Yes, sir.
See, y'all doing this now, and this happened years ago.
I don't know. I have no idea, man.
This shit crazy, man. Y'all put me in jail for something I didn't know nothing about.
So basically, I think what it is you weren't allowed to vote, but you voted.
What the fuck is
Tampa Police.
Please. Hey, man. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Good. Hey, we want to talk to Tony.
For today's episode, we take you to Tampa, Florida, where Tony Patterson, a suspect in a voter fraud case, is met with officers outside of his residence. Tony Patterson is one of 20 people who have seemingly been accused of voting illegally by Governor Ron DeSantis. Let's see how it unfolds.
Going to work.
Huh?
He's going to work.
He's going to work?
Yes.
Okay. This is where he lives, right?
Yes.
Okay, because he has to register here?
Yes.
Okay, we're just trying to verify, his registration, all that stuff. We've heard that, he may not be staying here, but we just wanted to verify it.
So he stays going to work.
He stays here. Where does he work at?
I don't know.
No? Do you have his number? Just because we just got to verify his stuff and... No?
They already came to verify it.
Yeah, but you gotta. We do it whenever they tell us to.
Yeah. The registration office is the one that just sent us out, so it's kind of like a lottery system. When they check on these guys, sometimes he could go over a year without getting checked.
Sometimes it's 2 times in a week.
Yeah.
You never
So,
know.
yeah.
That bothered me. I worked so hard, man. I just
We probably woke you up, huh?
Yeah.
So where does he work?
I don't know. Some shit. I guess downtown somewhere.
Downtown. When he left for work this morning?
Yes.
What time?
I don't know. I don't be here for
Somebody pick him up, or does he drive?
somebody pick him up.
You mind if you just show us his bedroom just so we can confirm he's not here?
I got
We're not gonna bother anybody, man. We're just gonna check for Tony, because like I said, gotta verify.
So far, we've got 2 officers here in what seems to be a regular checkup on a registered offender. The person that they're checking up on is Tony Patterson, but they had no luck meeting Tony since he had gone to work. Let's see what happens next.
Negative on Tony.
Hey, Tony.
What's up, man? How are you?
We were told that you had to check, or somebody was here earlier about checking you in or something like that
Yes.
for registration.
What registration? But John? No, it's a mistake.
Okay. What happened
I'm
with
not
that?
online. I work off of online. I don't. It has no address for that job. Then
Oh.
you call the people and tell them. They'll tell them there's no address for the job.
So were you home earlier when they came by?
No,
No?
I'm working.
Oh.
I just called him.
So how'd you get here so fast if you were working?
I have somebody taking me to do the batteries.
Oh. Okay. All right. So apparently, I guess you have a warrant.
For what?
I'm not
It's
sure.
for voter stuff, man.
For voters.
It's what it is. I think the agents with FDLE talked to you last week about some voter fraud, voter stuff, when you weren't supposed to be voting, maybe.
I didn't.
So
What are they talking about?
that's
man?
what
Why is they-
we're not the case agents, but what you got to do, they have reduced your bond quite a bit. It's 2 felony charges for voter fraud, but they've reduced it to $500 bonds. So it's $1,000 total.
Oh my God, man! What
So- Yes, sir. So unfortunately, right now we're gonna have to take you to jail, but you got a bond right away. You don't have to go to first appearance, nothing like that.
A
So
bond? I didn't do. What did I do wrong?
We don't know. We're not
the case agents.
all they did, they sent us over here because you had a warrant.
right.
And whenever people have warrants, the people coming to arrest the people, they don't know nothing. You know what I mean? So, you have anything on you at all that you're not supposed to have?
Just don't put your hands in your pockets.
Can you turn around real quick?
Check real quick.
Can I
around.
please?
I gotta put you in handcuffs, buddy.
I gotta pick one.
I got you.
Wow, man! Why are they doing this to me? That's what you're getting at? I didn't do nothing to nobody, man. Voter fraud. What is voter fraud?
voting when you're not supposed to, sir, is what our understanding of the warrant is. Because of your sex offender status, you're not supposed to be voting.
Nobody, what that got I don't know this. So what kind of felony is that here?
I believe it's a F3, so the lowest felony there is. But again,
you want your car keys, or you want to leave them here? You want to bring them with you?
Let me talk to the guy inside the house.
Well, we can't let you go inside.
that's up to you. If you want to leave them or
If
take
you
them
want to
with
leave
you,
them,
that's up
we'll
to you.
take them with you. Don't matter. Don't matter to me.
Leave my keys.
Here, I'll give it to the guy inside if that's all right. All right? What's his name?
Right.
Right.
All right.
What the fraud?
Let's walk over to my car,
Why is
okay?
y'all doing this now and this happened years ago?
I don't know. I have no idea, man.
This is crazy, man. Yes, sir.
We're gonna go over to the hood of my car, and I gotta search you, okay?
What is wrong with this state, man? What are you talking about? Voter fraud. Y'all saying anybody with family can vote, man. What you mean I couldn't vote? I don't know this.
I want to put on some different gloves, okay? Just hang tight.
Why y'all doing this?
Over here, we've had 3 police officers approach Tony and tell him that he's got an arrest warrant for something no one would expect: voter fraud. This happened in August of 2022. That is more than 2 years after the 2020 elections. That's a long time from the elections, and as anyone could expect, Tony was confused by this and didn't really understand what was going on. He followed the same voting process as anyone else would, and he really didn't get why this was happening now, after so much time had passed. As it turns out, sex offenders are allowed to vote under state law in Florida, and Tony was a registered sex offender and he did vote in 2020, so that's where the problem was. Given all of that, it doesn't seem like Tony knew about this law, and he even says that anybody with a family can vote.
Is there anything in your pockets? No.
I need to call my brother, man.
Other pocket?
Can I get my phone? Cause I need my number phone.
You whenever you get to jail, okay?
No, they got my phone in the house.
No, I got your phone here.
He's got your phone.
This is crazy, man.
We're gonna have you sit in there, and then you're gonna take your shoe off, okay?
Y'all, man, I'm out of this state, man. Y'all,
I understand. I mean,
I'm done. I'm trying my best to get the hell out of this state, man. This shit is crazy, man. Y'all put me in jail for something I didn't know nothing about.
all right. I need to check your socks. Slide your feet this way. I know. I gotta check it.
You don't take it when
Other one.
they're trying to put me in jail because I'm a fucking sex offender. I don't know what's going on in this world with sex offenders, but I'm not none of them, man. I'm not like them, man. I'm out here trying to work.
Tony seems really frustrated over here because he doesn't really understand why all of this is happening to him and why now of all times. He even talks about leaving the state because they're putting him in jail for something he didn't even know about. Apart from the confusion here, Florida does have one of the most strict sex offender restrictions in the country. How often they have to register, where they can live, and where they can work are all dictated by these restrictions, so something like this on top of all of that has got to be rough.
What is the warrant for? The warrant say for what?
The warrant is for false affirmation, revoting, or elections fraud, and then the other one is fraudulent voting. So basically, I think what it is you weren't allowed to vote, but you voted. So I don't know. Yeah, so what it is, there's a stipulation in the law that sex offenders and murderers are not allowed to vote. So that's there's fine print as far as my understanding goes.
So I signed something saying I wasn't allowed to vote.
No, you didn't sign something. That's just the law that if you're a sex offender, you're not allowed to vote.
So why did they dig up something that happened years ago?
I don't know. I'm not sure. All I did was come and pick you up, and that's it.
The officers make things only slightly clearer over here when they read out the warrant and tell Tony that it's probably because he wasn't allowed to vote and he did. Now that may seem a little confusing because if Tony wasn't allowed to or eligible to vote, then how did he get a voter ID card and cast his vote? Unfortunately, that's where the mess is. Even though Tony wasn't legally allowed to vote, the election officials cleared him to receive a voter ID, which makes no sense. Tony had no idea that he couldn't legally vote at the time and had no way of finding out. The fault really lies with the election officials here who cleared him in the first place, and it makes sense that Tony was so confused because he followed all the normal steps to vote anyone else would and he was cleared. Unfortunately for Tony, that's a matter for another time, since the warrant is already out, and as the officers explained earlier, they're not his case officers, so he's got no option but to go to jail with them for now.
So everybody else can vote, even any felony crime, any other felony, but a sex offender?
That and murder.
So they consider I'm a murderer?
I don't know, buddy. I have no idea.
I need to go back to court over this sex offender thing, man. This been messing up my life ever since.
Over here, Tony is surprised to find out that only sex offenders and murderers aren't allowed to vote, and he clearly regrets whatever happened in his sex offender trial so much that he wants to go back to court over it.
Alright, step on out, buddy.
What are you doing, man? And I went to the driver license place, and they asked me about my voter shit. I'm thinking I can vote.
Just slide your shoes on?
I don't understand this.
Listen, I get it. I don't know a lot about it either, okay?
Why they ask me about me voting
I don't know.
at the driver license place? Do you want to vote? Do you want to do this? I mean, if you already know, I don't.
They're gonna take them back off, okay? So just slide them on the best you can and shuffle over there.
Finally, the cops take Tony to the police station, but Tony is still in disbelief over what has transpired. In the latest developments of this case, prosecutors have dropped charges against Tony in this voter fraud case as he's being sentenced to prison in a different case. Tony Patterson was sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in prison for a separate case where he failed to notify the local sheriff that he was driving a new vehicle. This is something registered offenders are required to do within 48 hours of changing vehicle ownership.